You have just tuned in to Convos presented by Blackmagic Design. I am Danielle Beckman. I'm one of your hosts with Brooklyn Quarter. And we are so excited to be partnering with the League of Filmmakers and Cinematography for Actors to bring you this live stream directly from the Gaslamp District in downtown San Diego. So today and tomorrow, expect some really lovely chats. Lighthearted, fun. We're going to have fun here. If it's not fun, what's the point, right? So we're going to be talking to actors, writers, directors, game designers, influencers, and artists about their work and their Comic-Con experiences and rituals. So I am very excited to introduce our first guest. It's Ashley Gianni. And Ashley is an actor, a writer, producer, multi-hyphenate. She is the founder of Pizza Bagel Pictures, and she was recently seen sharing the screen with Lindsay Lohan for Pure Leaf Tea. You will see her. It's a hilarious, amazing spot. I love it. She executive produced, co-wrote, and co-starred in the festival-running short The Fuscos, and is currently in financing, I can't wait to talk about this, for her feature film, her drag-inspired feature film called No Rules. And No Rules is a special project because it landed in the top 5% of all 120,000 projects on Coverfly. It's just, honestly, it boggles my mind. I love it. Yes, it's placed in 9 festivals, secured 12 laurels. I mean, before it was even produced, we're getting awards.
Just the script.
We're getting awards.
Yeah.
And Ashley is a proud SAG-AFTRA member and a female queer storyteller.
Yes.
Welcome to Convos.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're so far, but
I know, but so close.
We're so close.
So far, but so close.
Okay, so Ashley, this is your first con.
This is my first Comic-Con experience.
Yeah. So I would love to know for you, like, what's going on? Are there any highlights so far? Is it what you expected? Just give us a little scoop.
Well, this is a bucket list for me. I mean, being at Comic-Con for me is bucket list. And I think the highlight was going to pick up my badge. You know, it made it so real. Mm-hmm. You know, the first day getting here, being able to get in line as a participant at Comic-Con. So not only is it my first, but I'm here as a panelist on your panel tomorrow. Women in Entertainment, little plug. Come see us, 5:30. And like that was such a outer body, overwhelming in the best way possible. And then, of course, getting to check out the floor and seeing all these unbelievable activations. I mean, it is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
Have you, now swag is one of the big things of the con. Have you gotten anything that you love?
I love Artist Alley. I think that's my favorite part of the floor. I love supporting artists. And I'm a pin collector. So I picked up a lot of pins from a bunch of different artists that I just thought were fabulous. And I want all female artists. Because I tend to support queer and female artists. No offense to anyone else. It's just my preference.
Yeah, I love it. And honestly, it was so cool to see how specifically how many women-owned businesses that there are on the floor, which is fantastic.
It's fantastic. The diversity in general, I think, is fantastic here.
Oh, absolutely. So I want to just kind of talk a little bit about you and your multi-hyphenate nature, because I think one of the points of this show is to give a little glimpse of people. Who are the people who go to Comic-Con and why? From all different walks of life, who's here. And so I want to know, just to give everyone a little bit of context, what you are working on currently.
That's a great question.
There's a lot. Maybe pick something you're most excited about and we can dive into that.
Well, I think that the thing I am definitely most excited about, and thank you for the beautiful introduction, referencing it, is I am financing, I'm an actor, writer, filmmaker, and No Rules is my first feature film script. So to be able to be in financing for my first feature that I will also have a role in and star in.
Yes.
But this isn't my baby. It is my DNA on every page and every word. And so the journey of it has been amazing. And that, I think, is probably the most exciting thing on my...
Do you want to give everyone the little
I would
the little
love
log
to.
line, the little scoop? Okay,
Yes.
okay. Or whichever camera's red. That's the one you look at.
Great.
Huh? Oh, hi.
My camera. I'm right there with you. As Danielle explained, it's a drag-inspired feature comedy, buddy comedy. So it's set in the glittery 90s. It follows drag queen Visa Decline and her best Judy, that's me, as they fight for the money to secure their own sanctuary, a place where they can be authentically themselves. It takes place in the 90s. It's I like to describe it as Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmore, had a baby with my cousin Vinny. So it's
the best.
It's fun, it's campy, and it's fun, and it creates like that Rocky Horror midnight showing vibe. It breaks the fourth wall, engages with the audience, and it really is. I come from a theater background, and so it's like my homage to all of the theater influences in my life and the drag queens who raised me, and my childhood growing up in Jersey.
I absolutely love that. Yeah. I really want to talk about this concept of drag, especially during Comic-Con, where everyone is in cosplay. Everyone is just expressing themselves through their clothes, through their costume. And so I would love to know, do you feel like there's a correlation between drag culture, cosplay culture? Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's
also,
awesome.
what a fun, I could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
We only have 20 minutes? Okay. I think what I really love most about being here is that it is a space where people can be authentically themselves. And as a queer human and a queer storyteller, I am a big proponent of any spaces where people can be, you know, in their authentic expression. And it's camp, right? Cosplay is camp.
Someone on a panel said that last night, talking about like camp and how it actually is I don't know, it creates an accessibility.
Absolutely.
Like a fun.
And it's allowing us to live at the most extremes, right? That's what camp is. That's what drag is. So drag is that extreme form and expression of femininity, right?
Yes.
And it's genderless, and cosplay is genderless, and it's, you know, it is just full of imagination and storytelling, and it just allows humans to have a emotional journey and experience and connect. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is through these heightened forms of expression, we find ourselves and our community. And that's exactly what's happening here at Comic-Con. It's a beautiful community of just fun and fabulous dress up, right? And play.
You know, as someone said something very wise once, I believe it was my husband. He said that the vibe of Comic-Con is like the minute a Broadway show gets out and everyone is done seeing a great play and they're all standing outside with excitement on the street. And it's kind of like a little bit of a frenzy. And it's like, wow, I just saw this show. That is all of Comic-Con. When you're walking around, you're feeling an anticipation. You're feeling like a fun. It's really cool. The energy and vibe is here. So hopefully through this show, we can bring that to you.
I agree.
And I would love to know, you know, talking about your feature film and, you know, these spaces that you're making for women, for non-binary folks, for the LGBTQ community. What do you want to see as like more of as far as representation in the industry?
That's a beautiful question, because, you know, I think as far as we have come in the industry is as far as we still need to go. And I think the hardest thing, especially being a queer filmmaker, is getting financing for queer films, right? That's a struggle. Where the queer audience is a far more engaged and active audience than the heterosexual audience.
Wow.
And and we, you know, we pay, we shell out. We're fans.
Chaperone example.
Right.
And showing up to concerts.
Exactly. And I do think we are in a queer renaissance right now, right? We're watching, you know, queer storytelling blow up, whether it's in the music industry or, you know, film and television. But I think queerness holds a space for everyone, not just the LGBTQ community, but it is a space where everyone can come and feel seen and heard and valued.
Yeah.
And so I would love to really just see the people with the pocketbooks, put that money into more diverse storytelling. And let's not just hear from, white queer, humans. Let's hear from BIPOC queer humans.
Yes.
Let's hear more from stories that we have not heard yet and stories we have not had access to. As I didn't come into my queer identity until I was older, later in life. And it's really because there wasn't representation for me in the ways that I identify with my queerness when I was a kid. And had I had that, maybe my coming out journey would have been different, right?
Wow, yeah. Because that is the power of storytelling in general.
Absolutely.
Whether that be TV, film, books. I mean, honestly, commercials.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Like what you see out there. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. I would love to talk. I know you just said about how funding and financing can be tough. On this journey, what has it been like getting a feature film off the ground?
We only have 20 minutes.
I know. Well,
that's a novel.
We'll pick out the next guest.
Look, I think when you are a filmmaker, especially an indie filmmaker, you have to be delusional and you have to believe in magic, right? Ooh. And believe in yourself. So trust is the number one of that process, right? You got to trust yourself. You have to build a phenomenal team. And so the process, I would say you have to have the patience in the process. So that has been the things I've learned along the way so far. But it's a journey, and there's a reason why it takes 5-7 years for films to get made.
Seriously.
It takes a village, it takes so much money and manpower. And so it's really about having that trust, that delusion, that belief in magic, and moving through each step of the process. And going through the steps of the process would take a lot longer than what we have here, but it's achievable. It's absolutely achievable. And I would say my process with no rules has been immensely serendipitous. Every point of it, whether it was connecting with my director, building my team, which you are a part of as one of my co-producers, and having written a role that you inspired, right? It has been so serendipitous the way that it's unfolded. And so I'm just trusting that it's going to continue to be that way.
I was going to say, when that happens in a project and you begin and things aren't serendipitous and you hit walls, I'm curious, right?
Yeah.
When this happens, are you saying, you know what, maybe I'm going to shut the door on this project and come back to it later? How does that work as far as like flow of things?
I think that's the right word, right? So I think being in flow is a really important thing for an artist and a storyteller, whatever medium you're in, right? Being in flow is where the creative energy lives. And so if you're coming up against a wall in any part of the process, that is always my cue to pivot.
Okay.
Right? Or to slow down and get patient and let things play out. If it feels wrong, it's wrong. If the universe is telling you not right now, it's not right now. And that's okay. It doesn't mean it's not going to be at some point or sometime.
Of course.
Right? But I think you have to really, as an artist, as a storyteller, as a creative, no matter what genre, no matter what medium, you have to listen to your intuition and listen to, the creative gods and what they're telling you. And if they're telling you to stop or slow down or pivot, stop, slow down, and pivot. Listen.
And do a box step.
Right, exactly.
While you're at it.
And
a little
listen.
kickball change.
Yeah.
And on to the next thing. No, I love that. I always, as freelancers, we always have multiple, I think, burners going.
All the time.
And so I always like to see which one starts to bubble up.
Absolutely.
Right? And then I kind of let the project tell me what it is.
I agree.
Because you started No Rules as a short film.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it was like, well, this is bubbling over into Access. This needs to be a feature film.
Absolutely.
Now.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I feel like filmmakers watching, I feel like to let the project lead you. Maybe you start to write with an idea and it's like, no, actually, I feel like this is a pilot. I feel like this is a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and keep go down that, you know? Trusting your gut, I think, is so incredibly important.
Yeah.
So we are getting near to the end.
Oh, no.
We're not fully done yet.
I could talk to you forever.
I know. Well, luckily we talk every day.
That is true. Multiple times a day.
Yes, thank God. And that's why this content is just so good. But I would love to know how people can find you, get a hold of you, all those things. Give it to us.
All right. Well, you could follow me on Instagram at Ashley Gianni. You could also go to my website, www.ashleygianni.com. That's ASHLEYGIANNI.com or at Ashley Gianni.
I love it. And what about No Rules?
No Rules Film. Thank you.
Yes.
You could follow No Rules. If you get to me, you could get to everything else.
Okay.
So it's at No Rules Feature Film on Instagram, or you could visit the website and learn more. You can make a tax-deductible donation. We are attached to a fiscal sponsor. So it is a 501c3. If you would like to support queer storytelling, go to norulesfilm.com and everything will be right there for you. You could check out our deck. You could learn more about the project, why you should support us, and give a little, tax donation while you're at it.
Right?
Get a little tax write-off.
I mean, come on.
Why not?
Don't we all love that?
Yes.
Also, shameless plug.
Ooh.
We're styled by Gianni.
Yes.
One of the many hats. I have been styled by Gianni today.
And obviously I'm styled by Gianni.
She every day is styled by Gianni.
I'm styled by Gianni. Yeah, multi-hyphenate. That I would
Seriously.
say.
And honestly, we've known each other for 20 years and it's just,
and we were babies when we met.
we were children, but it's honestly so cool to be at Comic-Con with my best friend.
Yes.
And the con is such like a magical place to share with people. And so this is just, look how far we've come.
I know.
We're here. And so Ashley, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Follow her work. You got the info. Convos will be right back with our next guest. And I think that's it for the moment.
Yay. Thank you all for tuning in and thank you for having me.
Yay.
Yay.
No, we could do that thing like Drew Barrymore does.